Hi everyone, my name is Steph, this is the Novelty Corner and welcome to another book cover colour recommendation video. Today we are going with blue book covers. I do love blue. It's always been a favourite colour. In fact, when I was growing up, when I was allowed to choose the wall colour in my bedroom, my walls were blue for a very significant period of time. It's a very calming colour. Anyway, today I'm going to talk to you about 5 books with blue covers that I absolutely love. Most of you will be very familiar with these books if you've been following me for any period of time, but I did go through the physical books on my shelf, mostly because it was just fun to go through and try and find as many blue books as I could. The first book that I have is Hollow's Grove by Lee Jacquot. This is the 4th book in the Holly Knights series, which is a series of holiday novellas. They're very steamy, they're all based around various holidays. I did read Cupid's Peak, which was the Valentine's Day one last month. This one is still possibly my favourite in the series so far. I do have a definite top 3. This one is set during Halloween and you have Evelyn, who is helping her best friend set up a corporate murder mystery party for Halloween, and her friend's brother Dorian is also helping with the setup. Dorian and Evelyn have always had this kind of antagonistic relationship with one another, but tensions sort of overflow on this night when the murder mystery party gets underway and Evelyn and Dorian are partnered together and have to spend time with one another. And Evelyn learns that Dorian is a pleasure dom, and this one gets super steamy very quickly in multiple rooms across the house, and there is a very cool scene that takes place in the hedge maze out the back. So I absolutely love this one. It was so good. Then there is Act Your Age, Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert, which is the 3rd book in the Brown Sisters series and is possibly my favourite one in the series. I love Eve. I think she's just this gorgeous, chaotic, energetic character who is just larger than life. As a result of that though, Eve isn't taken seriously by her family and they are determined to see that she grows up and takes some responsibility, and she leaves and ends up coming across this B&B that is hiring, and on a whim she just sort of walks in and interviews for the position without bringing a resume, without knowing anything about the role. She just, impulsively does it. And to say that it doesn't go well is an understatement, because the owner of the B&B, Jacob, is the total opposite of Eve. He likes to be in control, he likes to have things running in a certain way, and Eve is his total opposite. But when they're in the car park and she accidentally knocks into him with his car and he ends up with a broken arm, she offers to stay and help with the B&B since he is unable to do it while he's injured. They end up getting to know one another and they begin to see sort of where their opposite personalities begin to complement one another. It is super, super steamy. The representation in Talia Hibbert's books is always on point, and this is a true grumpy sunshine opposites attract kind of romance, and it was just delightful. Then we have the book that I never shut up about, and that is A Lady for a Duke by Alexis Hall. This is a historical romance with a trans heroine, and it is hands down my favorite historical romance ever. It has the right blend of humor and heart and depth to it without making the problem of the story about the trans heroine. In fact, once the hero figures out who the heroine is and who the heroine was to him in the past, like once he gets over that, that's it, and that happens in the first half of the book, and that is not the issue that we are dealing with in the story, and I am forever grateful about that. So Viola Carroll was at the Battle of Waterloo and was presumed dead, and that gave her the opportunity to reinvent herself into the person that she always knew that she was. She made a clean break of it. She didn't return to her family or to her best friend Justin, and she thought he's gone on, he's lived his life, he came from money and had wealth, but when sort of fate forces them back into the same path, she realizes that he is not the same man that was her best friend before the war. She is determined to bring back her old friend and to sort of stop this brooding state that he exists in. And it's just gorgeous. It is so well written, and as with all Alexis Hall's books, you have an amazing cast of side characters who just add to the story and just really flesh out this world and make it seem like it's a real world. Like you could literally walk up to any of these characters and they have a fleshed out history and connection to everyone around them, and you just want to know more. So highly, highly recommend this book. And I should say, if you are not a historical romance reader, because I do not consider myself a historical romance reader, I do read them, but it's not something I reach for on a whim, I think this is the book for you, if you just want to try it. Then there is You and Me by Tal Bauer. This is a contemporary romance between 2 single dads who have teenage sons on the football team. Both men were previously married and their relationships with their former partners are both complicated. Luke's wife has died, but their relationship was pretty toxic, and he doesn't have the best relationship with his son, which is in contrast to Landon, who has a fantastic relationship with his son, and Luke just doesn't know how to sort of live up to that. However, Landon is the most precious cinnamon roll of a guy who sees that Luke is sort of struggling to connect to his son and is trying to find a way to connect through becoming involved in football despite the fact that Luke knows absolutely nothing about football, and so he takes him under his wing. They become friends and then something more, and it is just absolutely lovely. It gives you all the warm fuzzy feelings without a lot of the complicated stressful drama that you would normally see in a contemporary romance, particularly around the third act stuff, because there's no breakup in this book. It's just a delightful, delightful book to read. And then this is a book that I have not talked about in a very, very long time. It is an Australian dark YA title, but features 19-year-old characters. It is Circus Hearts 3 All Aces. Now this is a trilogy. This is the third book in the trilogy, and it's all set around a circus troupe. And you could read all of the books as standalones, but they do reference characters and things that have happened in the previous books. But this is the relationship between a 19-year-old contortionist called Ren and a card sharp called Zep, who is relatively new to the circus and has a bit of a bad reputation. People aren't quite sure what to make of him, and things get even worse when they think that he might be a person who is sabotaging the carnival acts. But Ren likes a good mystery. She likes to sort of figure things out, and she's not quite sure that Zep is the person who's behind everything, and so she works pretty hard to try and figure out what's going on, and that's what brings them together. They're fairly short, they're very easy reads, and they're just a lot of fun. Like, I really, really enjoyed all of the books in this series, and this one in particular. All right, so those are some blue book cover recommendations. In the comments, I'd love to know, do you have a favorite romance book that has a blue cover that you like to recommend to people? Feel free to let us know down in the comments. And if you want to let me know that you're here but you don't want to leave a comment, feel free to leave any kind of blue emoji down below. I hope that wherever you are in the world, you're staying safe and healthy, and I will see you all in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, everyone.